6 months ago, we set ourselves the challenge to launch a brand under $500. We wanted to give you every single step of the way so you could do it yourself. We wanted to teach entrepreneurs how to create $1 million brand. In this episode, we're just going to recap all of the lessons that we learned along the way. For those that watched along, they would remember that the first step that we had to do is find a product. What we did is we used an ads buy tool. Ads buy tools scrape Facebook and give you a ton of product ideas. After that, we went down the rabbit hole and we decided to look at TikTok for similar products that we saw on the ads buy tool. This led us to finding a cleaning paste product. Well, initially we were going to do a dishwashing cleaning paste. It just seemed a little bit too strange and didn't really have product channel fit. We then found a cleaning paste. It cleans stoves and surfaces really well. There was already a couple of brands scaling incredibly well on TikTok, which we thought was a great opportunity. To find this supplier, all we did was go into Alibaba and search cleaning paste. We had a rough idea what we wanted because we set up an MVB, a minimum viable brand. We knew we wanted it yellow, and we also knew that we wanted it scented based on lemons. Because we wanted to customize the product, this is often the case. The supplier couldn't drop ship it and we needed to place an MOQ. I ended up convincing the supplier to do a sample run. Rather than 5,000 pieces, we ended up getting about 40 pieces of product. We then needed to write direct response copy for our Shopify site, our Facebook ads, our email marketing, our Google ads, and we also decided to create an advertorial, something that we probably didn't highlight enough. Advertorials are becoming essential in Facebook marketing at the moment. They help really increase conversion rate, AOV, and make your Facebook ROAS higher. Certain products lend themselves amazingly to advertorials, such as ones with health benefits or cleaning products. We decided to target our advertorial to mums, same with most of our marketing. We then showed you how to build a Shopify store. I took you through every single step of the way about how you can do it yourself. We really did think that our advertorial was going to convert more than our Shopify store, so our Shopify store just really needed to be a bit more of a brand experience. In hindsight, our Shopify store ended up looking pretty bad and didn't convert very well, which was a good lesson and something that we would have to improve later on. Often people really get stuck on this step and invest a lot of time and effort and money getting these things right. I really do suggest just launching and understanding if you've got product market fit. Even after 4 years, some of our brands still have really basic websites but convert really well. I took you through a lot of the technical steps, such as setting up Facebook pixels and setting up email marketing. We thought organic TikTok was the ideal acquisition method because we didn't need to spend money on ads. All you need is a product and a camera and you can start selling. This ended up being true with us hitting a viral TikTok video and selling out of all of our product. Because we couldn't dropship, we needed to fulfill the product ourselves. All up, it took us over 6 months to do this project. The truth is, if you weren't just working weekends, you could probably launch a brand like this within a month. While this was a super fun process the past 6 months, we did make a ton of mistakes and we probably left out a lot of information that is essential. So I want to touch on some of those things now to ensure that when you go and launch your brand, you get them right. Let's jump into our dashboards and address them now. Alrighty, so all in all, we ended up with about $958 in sales in the week that we launched, and then we sold out of stock. I wish we would have ordered more because we did hit that viral TikTok, and on this last day, on the 16th of March, I think we would have done a lot more than the previous day. As you can see, there's a nice little sales trend up here with a bit of an outlier on the 14th of March. So when sales are this small, it is going to be quite volatile. Sometimes you just might do no sales, but I do think we were hitting some serious momentum because that 102 sales was done really early in the day. So we're starting to get some good sales, and I think it was a mixture of both Facebook and TikTok working together. So how do we know that? We've got our Facebook dashboard, which I will get into soon. However, as many people know, at the moment, attribution is a nightmare. This is why we set up a post-purchase survey. We also really wanted to know, are these people buying just because of my YouTube? That would not give us an indication whether the brand is actually viable or if I'm just being an influencer for the product. This is why we set up a simple post-purchase survey app, a free one, to really survey where customers were coming from. The report was really interesting. Out of 23 orders, we had about 8 responses because not everyone is going to do the survey. So pretty small amounts of data, but we can see that TikTok was the majority of people purchasing. It definitely was some of my YouTube involved, and Facebook and Instagram claimed about 2 sales. So realistically, we can confirm that TikTok was probably the main driver for the sales. And this was our hypothesis going into the brand. We knew that TikTok had product market fit for this already because there was other brands scaling on TikTok. Now this is good and bad, because if TikTok follows the same path that Facebook and Instagram did, then organic reach is gonna dry up. They'll introduce more ads to the ecosystem and it's gonna be harder and harder to get viral videos. That being said, this could still be a really, really strong business, just pumping out TikTok videos, not spending too much on Facebook ads, maybe just retargeting and the bare minimum, and you could scale a pretty large business from this. You would then need to introduce secondary products and possibly go into retail using wholesale, like the competitors that we've referenced. Let's touch on the TikTok video that did go viral. We just released a video talking about how to go viral and summarizing this whole episode. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you go do it. Now you're probably thinking 3.7 million views and we've only got 23 sales. There's lots of reasons for this. First of all, our website conversion rate was terrible. Secondly, because it was a new TikTok, we couldn't actually put the link in the bio. Thirdly, people actually do a lot of research before buying products online and we really have no credibility. It's gonna be a slow start. If we keep pumping these out and start getting some actual other people, some UGC, some influencers posting it, it'll gain momentum really, really quickly. When coming into the ad account, we can see that we've got cold traffic here and warm traffic here indicated by the level 1 and level 2. We've then got the naming convention website or advertorial here, ADV. And then we've got ABO, which is ad set budget optimization. The alternative is CBO. So we can see that most of the sales are actually coming through this level 1 traffic here, which is through the Shopify store. It's got a pretty decent ROAS here at 3.12, which considering we only used a couple of pieces of creative and it had a terrible website, I think this could definitely be optimized better. I'm surprised the advertorial didn't work better, but I think that over time, if we kept optimizing it and improve the tracking, it probably would. We can come into the ad set budget optimization and see that the purchases are quite evenly split across the interests. To scale the ad account, you have a couple of options, and it's really about what you believe right now in Facebook. A lot of people are saying a simplified structure. A lot of other people are saying continue to use interest-based targeting. What does that mean? If I wanted to do interest-based targeting, what I would do is I would take this laundry detergent ad set where I'm targeting one interest, and I would do that for a lot of different interests, maybe 5 or 6 at small budgets. I would then analyze an early stage metric like cost per add to cart to get an indication whether that interest or that ad set is going to be profitable in the early stages. Those that aren't, they would kill that ad set and then they'll go on to a different interest or different creative. Because they've got a low cost product, the cost per purchase will be quite low. So you would probably end up killing less ad sets than if you had a high expensive product where to get just one add to cart is gotta cost you a lot of money. So the end result would be you have 5 or 6 ad sets with 2 to 3 creatives in them. Each ad set will have one interest targeting to narrow the audience down. The alternative structure, which a lot more people are doing, is no retargeting, broad audiences. Currently, I do not do this structure. However, there are people that I respect in the industry that know probably more than me with Facebook ads that are also doing it. It's along the lines of you have no retargeting and you're targeting broad audiences. So you're not stacking interest, you're not adding interest to the ad set, you're just keeping it broad. So you have one campaign targeting broad, and then you have one campaign testing ads. Those winning ads that you find in that testing framework gets introduced to the broad targeting. The premise behind this is Facebook knows more than you. It knows when to retarget, it knows when to target cold people. It doesn't need you to narrow things down to spend more efficiently. Over time, people are saying that this allows scale a lot quicker. The one thing I will say, and why we don't do this, is it can get really complicated with multiple products. Let's say we have a new product that we want to start advertising, a weighted license blanket. If we've got a really broad structure, we have 2 options. We can either introduce it to the broad ad set where all of our other creatives are in it, which are mostly Oodies and other product categories. Alternatively, we can create another broad structure for this product category. The second is probably the structure that I recommend, because then you can allocate budgets accordingly based on the stock levels that you've got and other factors. It just gives you more control. But what that means is you're going to have a lot of broad structures if you introduce lots of different product categories, like 10 plus. It sounds really complicated, and I do want to do a video on it when I get more time, and we will scale an ad account. One other thing we can look at within the ad account is a really, really high click-through rate. While this is an indication of a really good ad, It could also be other things like my YouTube channel that's really pushing that engagement. If we want to look more at the optimization, while we don't have too much conclusive data about which is the best interests here, we can come into the ad to see which ad Facebook prefers more. As you can see, we've got a clear winner with an ad that Facebook likes. This is indicated by the amount spent that we have for this ad. It is much higher than this ad, and it's also got all of the conversions. So Facebook's allocating correctly there. We can show this ad just really quickly.
When I got the lemon scrub, I was super excited to try it on my oven. I haven't cleaned my oven in a while, so it has some pretty nasty stains on it.
So what we would do now is we would go recreate this ad or make more optimizations for them and split test that creative. Two ways you can do this. You can use the inbuilt Facebook split testing tool. Alternatively, you can create a dynamic creative, which you can then pull the post ID later to use in further ads. I would definitely be grabbing all of my TikTok videos and placing them in a broad ad set and seeing how that goes. All in all, it's still too early to tell if the lemon scrub could be a giant brand. The truth is, it's got pretty razor thin margins, and we're relying on an acquisition channel that might just not be there forever. If we could get a really strong returning customer rate and study our cohorts of how many times customers come back to prove how much profit one customer can bring us over a, let's say, 90-day window, there is a good chance that Facebook could work. We could optimize it more and see how it goes. We could bring the supplier cost down, considering the supplier cost was less than $5, and continue to optimize the bundles. While I know so many of the viewers really want me to continue scaling this brand so you can learn the scaling process, I'm honestly so sick of cleaning things. No, but seriously, there are a few things that I need to consider. First of all, this has been extremely time consuming. And while I love to invest time and help people, I do have some responsibilities during the week with the Oodie. The truth is, the process that I just described is all you need to do. You just need to constantly tinker, optimize the website, optimize the Facebook ads, and just keep scaling and learning. We have so many awesome viral ideas that are both educational and fun. If you feel like I've missed something or you're still confused, I urge you to leave a comment on YouTube or head to our Facebook group. It's free and there's a good community that can help you. It's been such a fun process, and I really do think that we've built a brand that's cool. For those that are wondering, we're donating all of our $950 of sales to the Hygiene Bank, a very aligned charity to what Lemon Scrub stood for. I must say, this has been a very rewarding experience for both myself and the team. We have had so many screenshots of people getting their first $1,000 in sales, first $10 in sales, first $5 in sales, and it's just been really great to see. I'm very confident that if you've watched every step of this way, you're going to be successful just because of the time that you're willing to put into your education. Just don't give up, constantly keep learning, and enjoy the process. Thanks.